The Holocaust, the world promised to never again allow the senseless murder of Jews, and now people around the globe, they're standing up to the pure evil of Hamas.
Here now with why supporting Israel at this time is so important, Rabbi Shmuley Boltiach. Rabbi Shmuley, great to see you. It is, if you were silent, you were accepting the unacceptable. That was what my parents always taught me.
Elie Wiesel, the world's most famous Holocaust survivor, famously said, the opposite of love is not hatred. The opposite of love is indifference. Now let's take it a step further. What about if people who don't even know the difference between right and wrong? It's not that they're indifferent, it's that they're clueless. They have no moral compass. We have American congresswomen, Rashida Tlaib, Ilhan Omar, who are openly siding with Hamas. And even the national American media, from the New York Times to CNN, CBS, NBC, they won't even call Hamas terrorists. Now think about that. This man over here, who killed 3,000 Americans, incinerated them, just 3 miles from here on 9/11, 2001, was he a militant or a monster? Was he a soldier or a savage? Was he a belligerent or barbarian? If you cannot call this man a terrorist, then you have no sense of right and wrong. So the language, and look at the way they're saying, 1,200 Jews were slaughtered in Holocaust-level extinction for a day on Saturday and Sunday. And now they're saying that Israel's engaging in retribution? You mean stopping terrorists from killing more Jews as a form of revenge? Jewish life is becoming so worthless. It's very painful.
You know, you talked about Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib. She's left us dumbfounded when she refused to condemn the murder of Jewish babies by Hamas. I want you to listen to this and I want you to respond.
Terrorists have cut off babies' heads and burned children alive. Do you support Israel's rights to defend themselves against this brutality?
We're just going to go through here.
You can't comment about Hamas terrorists chopping off babies' heads? And why do you have the Palestinian flag outside your office if you do not condone what Hamas terrorists have done to Israel?
When asked here, she was silent, but now she's saying her critics are the hateful ones, saying, quote, I do not support the targeting and killing of civilians, whether in Israel or Palestine. The fact that some have suggested otherwise is offensive and rooted in bigoted assumptions about my faith and ethnicity. Rabbi, how would you respond to Rashida Tlaib?
She hides behind her ethnicity, but there's a universal morality that Muslims, Jews, and Christians, and atheists and agnostics all live by, and that is that life is precious and that murder is a sin. Rashida Tlaib is an American abomination. She won an election seat. I truly hope that her constituents will rise up and evict her, because she is a disgrace to Islam, which is a great world religion, but she's a disgrace to American values. If she really believes in Hamas, let her go to Gaza right now and try to express an opinion against Hamas. She, God forbid, would lose her life, which nobody wants. We want to keep her safe. Let her say one good word about an LGBTQ Palestinian who have to flee to Israel rather than have their genitals cut off, being decapitated. If you cannot condemn the decapitation of 30 infants at a kibbutz, then evil has no meaning. And I'll tell you something else. I love when people like Rashida Tlaib and Ilhan Omar speak about how religious these the Hamas members are. Do religious men take a half-naked, unconscious woman in her undergarments and parade her body around with such necrophiliac prurience? These are fiends. The savagery, it's very difficult to contain, but to hear it in the halls of Congress is something that would make the founders of our nation, who came to establish liberty and freedom, turn over in their graves.
You know, Rabbi Shmuley literally took the words out of my mouth, literally. And I just want to reiterate on my own. So there's absolutely no parsing of words here. But Rashida Tlaib, Ilhan Omar, and those people that call themselves, because Rashida Tlaib and all, they say they're Muslims, they're not even freaking close. They wouldn't even know what a Muslim is if it hit them in the face. They have no clue, folks. They don't have an idea. These are fake Muslims. Rashida Tlaib is an Islamist. Ilhan Omar is an Islamist. Ilhan Omar has allegedly married her brother to bypass United States immigration laws so she could get citizenship over here. Ilhan Omar, who basically touts, oh, if I don't wear my hat, my scarf, if I don't cover my head, Oh, there's so much immodesty in that. How can you force me to take my scarf, my headdress off? It makes me immodest. I mean, I'm a woman. They don't even know they can't even define the word woman. But that would be like making me naked. This is the same lady who decided to have an affair with the person who was running her campaign, who was already married. And the wife of the campaign manager came out in court documents and said that Rashida Tlaib was a reason that the marriage was going to break up. And that lady asked for a divorce from her husband. And I believe now she's married to that guy. So so I would just ask her, okay, so it's okay to commit adultery. It's okay to have an extramarital affair, but as long as you keep your hat and your scarf on while you're doing the dirty. Is that what you're trying to tell us, Ilhan Omar? And as far as Rashida Tlaib, why don't these people espouse the same views that they're for LGBTQ, that they're for gay rights, that they're for transgender rights, that they're for all women's rights, that they want all the things there? Why don't they do it on the steps of the Gaza? You know what I mean? The Gaza. Why don't they go and do it on the shores of the West Bank? Why don't they do it in front? Why don't they invite a bunch of Hamas leaders? Go there to Gaza, go there to the West Bank. Tell everybody that you're coming and tell them that you're going to give a speech on human rights, on gender rights, on trans rights, on women's rights, LGBTQ rights, gay rights, lesbian rights. Tell them the whole thing, what you're going to do. Abortion, do it. Tell Hamas that you want to have a sit down. I dare you. I double dare. I freaking triple. I quadruple dare you. They're never going to do that. You know why? Because they can do it from the safety of the shores of the United States of America, the greatest country in the history of the world, which allows you to do that from safety. So that's what they do. They make all these points from the safe perch, knowing that they're full well guarded by the United States of America. But these hypocrites, these effing hypocrites, would never dream of saying the same type of things over there because they know their lives would be in danger. And we don't want their lives in danger. We want them to continue living a great life so that we have something that we can basically point to and say, that's how different we are. We care about human life. You guys don't. Anyways, let's continue with more Reverend Shmuley, and the Fox News host will do that right now.
Point something out while you're here really briefly. The Democrats have known that this is what these individuals were all about for years.
From day
this
one.
Is in 2019. Rashida Tlaib invited a Hezbollah and Hamas supporter to a private family dinner, celebrating her elevation to Congress, a man who had said Israel had no right to exist. And when she joined Congress, she put that Post-it note on her map and that said Palestine and pointed to Israel. And when you quote over and over again the language of what is the language from river to sea?
See, Palestine will be free, of course.
Right, but
murdering all its Jews.
But that means the eradication of
genocide,
Jews. That means
Holocaust.
genocide. So we know.
That's code language, folks, for genocide. Just like they say, oh, when you say certain words, that's code for racism. Well, guess what? Chanting that anti-Semitic song, that trope, that's code that you're anti-Semite. You support racism. You support the eradication, the genocide of the Jewish people. Enough said.
Know what you've been talking about for years. We know what you're about. So don't act like that we're the bigots and that we don't understand what you represent and the hatred that you walk around with in your heart and soul every single day.
Rashida Tlaib wakes up in the morning and the hatred of the Jewish people courses through her veins. It
Absolutely.
animates her actions. It causes the language that she uses, and she cannot even suppress it. And I'll tell you, she doesn't even care about Palestinian lives. That's what bothers me the most. I care infinitely more about my Palestinian brothers and sisters than she does, because Hamas Hamas is a curse to the Palestinians. Hamas is a kleptocracy that has stolen. They got more money per capita in Gaza than the entire Marshall Plan, everyone in Europe. Look what Europe did after the destruction of the Second World War, and look at Gaza today. Rashida Tlaib could not give a damn about Palestinian women who are beheaded when they have boyfriends, 16 or 17 years old. She'll never speak up for them because all she cares about is hatred of Jews. She is animated by and I'll tell you one final thing. It's not just Rashida Tlaib and Ilan Omar. You're talking about Tufts University, Harvard University,
Yes.
right 3 miles up from here, Columbia University. Students are supporting Hamas and their mutilation of women. I mean, our universities have lost their minds. We're living in a crazed time that boggles the imagination.
You are so right, and also you have Democrats who have supported and defended these squad members who have behaved so poorly.
And President Biden, who just gave Iran $6 billion, and if you think that didn't lead to more hostages being taken,
it's more than that.
It's $1 billion per hostage. That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
Oil
Rabbi
money,
Shmuley.
tens of billions.
That's
Rabbi,
exactly.
$6 billion for hostages. $1 billion a hostage. Amazing. Amazing. That on top of when the Obama monarchy was, remember when overnight they couldn't just send a check over? It had to be cash to the Iranians. It was $400 million. Whatever that was. It was in bearer bonds. It was in gold. It was in silver. It was in pounds. It was in dollars, Swiss francs. Cargo planes had to take it in the night because they said, oh, it was their money. We have to give it back to them. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You just wanted to give it to them. And at that time, okay, that idiot Schultz, John Kerry, Chester molester, what did he do? They asked him the question, do you think, Secretary Kerry, that some of this money might be used in terrorist activities and do something to harm our men and women in the service and civilians as well? And the idiot John Kerry's answer was, you would probably, but, the big but, it's our duty. It's our moral obligation to return that money because it's not ours. Oh, so now you want to become moral. Now it's time to throw out the M word. Right, that makes a whole lot of sense. That's what Rabbi Shmuley was basically saying. What has this world coming to? What is the world? Where are we going? It's like bizarro world. It's like everything is turned around. Everything is upside down. Right means wrong. Left means right. Up means down. Good means bad. I mean, it's amazing, folks. Absolutely amazing. Anyways, we appreciate the time you took to watch our video. You've been watching the Dr. Nasir Shaikh Show. I've been your host, Dr. Nasir. If you haven't done so already and we've earned your subscription, smack that subscription bell button. Go ahead, like, share, and follow us. Hit that notification bell as well. I'll leave with my final thought, which is, and before that, we have our video links here and here. Check those out as well. When you're right, you're right. And when you're left, you're wrong. Until next time, folks, take care and stay safe.